Welcome to The Global Girlfriend.
Shall we book a trip to Lecce, Italy?
Yup. Okay, welcome back, everybody. Welcome to The Global Girlfriend. My name's Brianna.
And my name's Morgan, and we're your host of The Global Girlfriend, which is a podcast about travel, living abroad, stories, and connection, and all that entails.
This is our 10th episode, which is very exciting. If you like this show, we would absolutely love it if you could share this podcast with a friend. Send it to a friend, send it to a global girlfriend, because our community is growing and we are so excited to have you here. And we can't wait to welcome more people in the future. So, welcome back.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Well put. Okay, well, we're very excited about today's topic as it's something that Brianna and I are both passionate about, which is Euro summer. So, this episode today is how to prepare for Euro summer.
Very, very exciting. So, I mean, if you go on TikTok, if you go on Instagram, there's like hundreds of videos for like Euro summer is coming. To be honest, I think people have been going to Europe in the summer much longer than Instagram and TikTok. But
Yeah.
both Morgan and I have been super fortunate to spend quite a few summers in a bunch of different places in Europe. So we are going to just go over some of our favorite memories. We're going to go over some tips and tricks for how to make the most of Europe in the summer, and maybe give you some suggestions for things that you can do. Why don't we start with packing? One of our favorite
Yes.
topics.
Yes, since this is like a logistical part that we all must do, and it starts pre-trip. So yeah, that's a good point. Okay, what to pack? Okay, so starter pack for Euro summer. Okay. So, well, first off, I think for me, the most important things to pack is I am all about space saver bags. So, not the ones where you need a vacuum to suck out the air because you don't always have a vacuum, but it's the ones where you roll it and you push out the air and it helps save not weight. You still have the same amount of weight of things, but so much space in your bags that you're packing for any trip, but especially Euro summer. Okay, so what are some things you think you have to pack?
So I think obviously you want to take cute photos, you want to look good, you want to look European during the European
Yes.
summer. So I think that it's really important that you bring a lot of sort of like basic, kind of like capsule type wardrobes where, a couple of skirts, a couple of dresses, a couple of shorts.
Yeah.
I love to go with just like basics, either in like linen or cotton that you can mix and match a little bit. And then the way that I make my outfits a little bit more memorable is through accessories, things like sunglasses and hats
Hmm.
and that sort of thing. Because similar to what you said about the space saver bags, it's really hot in Europe in the summer. You're getting sweaty. You need things that you can wash in the sink. And also, you don't want to be lugging around like massive amounts of stuff when you're getting on
Yeah.
boats and on trains. I think that less is definitely more. And I love to just
Yes.
I love to keep the wardrobe like super simple, but classy and versatile.
Okay, that's perfect. Yeah, definitely be able to mix and match and be able to wear certain pieces multiple times, but in different ways so it looks different, like for yourself and also for any kind of visuals that you're going to capture. And then I feel like I really agree with. I remember we did this summer thing, and my brother was proposing to his now wife, and me and my parents, we all came, and we had these giant suitcases, and just lugging them upstairs in Italy, and it was the worst. And so yeah, definitely want to pack less is more. Hopefully a backpack, but if you must have wheels, make sure it's reasonable upstairs. And then another like essential thing for style and also just practicality is I would say a crossbody little fanny pack is essential. I love to keep all my important things right here. That's lip gloss, wallet, cash, um, phone if I'm not taking pictures or I don't know what else is in there, but definitely something that I can keep across and keep right here for easy access is essential.
I totally agree. A fashion fanny is the only. The
Yes.
only way to go. Like that
Mhm.
Uniqlo crossbody bag. I've got a like Chinatown knockoff Patagonia fanny pack.
Mhm.
Obviously you do want to look cute in your Euro summer, but practicality is really important. You can do a night out with a fashion fanny, no problem. So I would say
Yes.
just, one cute little crossbody bag and it's going to be multi-purpose. It's going to be filthy by the end of the summer, but whatever. You need go get one. Also, swimsuits. So
Yes, essential.
there's nothing better than swimming in the sea or the lake in Europe in the summer. So definitely
Mhm.
bring a swimsuit. Don't bring too many swimsuits, of course. Like, you want to look cute, but I find I always bring at least two swimsuits that never actually make it onto my body. And what's really, really important is sort of like a little cute, like beach cover up or like a dress or something that you can sort of transition
Mhm.
from the beach maybe to a cafe or something. Because I think sometimes we see this, I see this all the time in Bali. But I mean, wherever you're traveling this summer, it's quite similar to home. If you wouldn't wear a bathing suit traipsing through the streets of New York City, maybe don't wear a bathing suit traipsing through, the little European town that you're going to spend time in. So I think it's really
Yeah.
important to just invest in and bring a cute little beach cover up that can sort of moonlight as a day dress or something like that.
Oh, that's perfect. That's perfect. And then let's talk shoes. I think comfortable shoes are essential. I feel like I've been on trips kind of like similarly with you in the swimsuits. I end up bringing all these shoes and then I end up only wearing a couple. So I think you should be very selective about the shoes that you're bringing. Make sure they're comfortable because you're going to be walking quite a bit. If you're in a city, even if you're in little towns, walking to different beach locations or whatnot. Um, I think make sure they're comfortable and pack, a cute sandal and maybe some cute walking sneakers that are also comfortable. I tend to like chunky, like platform shoes. And so, but make sure they're not like a brick and they're like a little bit lightweight because you're not going to want to carry those brick platform shoes. And then just one other thing, if you're incorporating hiking or, a little bit more active other than just like walking in a city or town, I would say bring your hiking shoes because I love a little Euro summer and a cute swimsuit sundress and a sundress with some hiking shoes.
So
um,
cute.
yes. So if okay, so yeah, and yeah, yeah, that's what I have to say.
I totally agree. And actually, something that I wish I knew about like over the last few years, or like I wish was in style over the past few years, which is in style now. Can't even believe I'm saying this, but like there are so many cute hiking sandals that like you can even wear during the day. I just did a trip through Indonesia with my cousin and she had these like Sketcher, they looked like little platform sandals and they were Skechers and you could hike in them, which was amazing. There's like tons of different brands, even like there's knockoffs on Amazon where you can actually get, they look like the little Spice Girl platform shoe, but they're meant for going on a hike. So you can wear it on the trail or you can just wear it in town and no one knows the difference. And I think that's super cool. So if you can invest in those, I cannot wait to buy a pair of those this summer, actually.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah, when you can mix the two, essential. Okay, hey, so what are some not to bring things? What do you say?
Um, Controversial. I don't think you should bring curling irons or straighteners or blow dryers. A lot of the places where you're staying will have a blow dryer. I find hair tools to be like quite cumbersome. They take up a lot of
Mm-hmm.
space and like it's summer. Let those beach waves just flow. Get a sea salt spray. You're going to be in and out
Yes.
of the ocean all the time. You're going to be sweating. Like it's kind of, it's almost a lost cause to try and make your hair beautifully curled or straightened every single day on vacation. So I would
Yeah.
say leave the hair tools at home. What about you?
Oh, I'm actually right there with you, which is because I have some good friends of mine who are like we talk about sometimes. Are you more someone who needs to go out with your hair done or with makeup on? And I'm someone who like I
Ah.
like to do my makeup, but I haven't done my hair. Like last year, I probably did it for maybe two, three special occasions. So I'm with you. So I think try to leave as many of those huge hair tools because especially sometimes they don't totally coordinate with the plugs in Europe, like depending where you're from. And so it also is a bit tricky there. And I kind of already mentioned this, but too many fancy shoes. I love shoes and I love being stylish and cute and taking photos. Uh, but I think you need to be as minimal as possible with the shoes. Um, and then I don't know. I'm a jean person, but in the summer of Europe, it's quite hot, so I don't think you really need jeans. I think you should really focus on skirts and dresses and whether they're long or short. Mostly, I don't really think you need jeans. Maybe a sweater in case you get chilly, but usually no.
Yeah, I am with you 100%. And then I also think do not get super excited with your packing when you are at home because there's so many wonderful things to buy in Europe. I in many different countries that I've been, they have amazing vintage stores. You're going to go to
Yeah,
markets. There's different brands that you're going to want to pop into and pick up cute things. So definitely do not come with a full suitcase because I guarantee you will leave with a full suitcase.
yeah, that's perfect. And like you'll really love those pieces like later in your life. Like you'll love like, oh, I remember this from when I went to Spain this summer, that one summer. And it's pretty special, I would
It's
say.
so special. I have this jean jacket. I even have it here with me in Bali. I've never worn it here because it's too hot, but I brought it with me because I love it so much. It's like this oversized vintage jean jacket that I got at a
Cute.
secondhand shop in Rome on like a girls trip. So I love it. It's both fashionable and it holds memories. So don't be
Yeah.
afraid to spend your money on wardrobe pieces that are gonna be with you for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So let's chat a little bit about how to plan your itinerary because both Morgan and I are kind of fly by the seat of your pants type gals. We will book a trip and not really have a plan until we arrive. However, to make the most of your Euro summer, we are letting you know that you do need to do a little bit of planning just because it's such a busy part of the world in
Yeah.
the summer.
Oh, absolutely. And, sometimes it's hard to, so much in advance to make these specific plans. So I think just like creating like an outline of the things that you might want to do in your route is for sure essential. And a little bit for me, a little bit closer to the trip because I feel like it feels more tangible as it's about to happen. But I think a big thing is maybe do a little bit of a mix of big city iconic spots. I do think there's something really special about going to those really known places with, you know, big cities with all the landmarks that you have to see, very like tourist must see spots, but also going to like the slower gems, like the little towns around it or somewhat near. I think that mix is essential.
I totally agree. And I think if you do only the big cities, you can probably burn out kind of quickly. Like, obviously, the popular big cities are popular for a reason, but they're
Hmm.
super, super busy. So, finding that balance will sort of make you feel a little bit like you are, yes, having an adventure, but you also get to relax a little bit. So, I think that brings me to our next topic, which is how are you going to get from the big cities to the small towns? And so, when it comes to planning logistics, again, on a normal whimsical trip, I would show up in the morning and try and get on the train. If I have to wait an hour, whatever, I'll have a coffee. In Europe, in the summer, you want to be a little bit more proactive. So, when it comes to booking trains, especially in really big cities like in Italy or Spain or France, you're going to want to book those at least a few days in advance. And then
Hmm.
accommodation, especially if you're staying by the sea, because not only does most of North America come to Europe for the summer, all of the Europeans are also going to the sea for the
Yeah.
summer. So you do really need to book if you would like to stay by the sea for an affordable price. You got to do your summer bookings like now, or you should have done them in April or even March. You got to book the accommodations pretty early if you're going to the beach in Europe this summer.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Especially if you want to have, a really good price place that's also really cute in a place that you'd want to be. And I think like last second you can figure something out and it'll be fine. But like I think if you want to like really maximize, I really agree with what you said. And then obviously if you're flying within Europe, you want to book those as well early because though, flying prices fluctuate, with the prices or during the time and the prices. So I think that's also essential. Um, I mean, I guess you could always hitchhike, which I've done, but
Amazing.
maybe you don't feel comfortable doing that. Who knows? So I guess that kind of ties into like make sure like when you go that you're flexible. And I feel like some of the most hilarious, best moments that like Brianna and I've had together and individually have been those spontaneous moments. So like be open to those random experiences and opportunities that present itself on Euro summer.
Yeah, take them. Just embrace it and really go for it. Maybe we can take a little pause in talking about logistics. What are some of your favorite Euro summer spots?
Oh, that's so tough. That's so tough. There's so many I love. Um, okay, I'm just gonna say a couple.
Yeah.
um, so, and I feel like the first one I'm gonna say, like, I know Italy sometimes seems so cliche, but I think it is for a reason because it is just so stunning, so full of culture, such great food, great weather, like beautiful cities and scenery. So I think it is that way for a reason. I've loved almost every Italy trip I've ever done. So I feel like one of my favorite ones was going to the Puglia region. So it's like the southeast, the heel of the boot of Italy. And I think it's a bit more popular now, but I feel like when I went that it was kind of just on the cusp of being super popular. So I really enjoyed just getting to explore that. And then also just having lived in in summer. Let's start now. Lived in Spain and visiting quite a bit. Like I've gotten to have a lot of summertime experiences in Spain, so I've loved it from the north to the south to Madrid, even though everyone's left Madrid. I just love summer in Spain. So, yeah.
Oh,
What about you?
beautiful, beautiful places. And honestly, you're totally right. Like the popular places are popular for a reason. I would have to say that my favorite European summer spot, time and time again, has always been Greece. It
Yes.
is just those like a Greek island. There is nothing better than a Greek island in the summer. And I've been very fortunate to be able to travel to a number of different Greek islands over the course of many summers. And I just really feel like there's nothing better than like having your Freddo cappuccino in your hand, getting on the ferry,
Yes.
going across the Aegean, embracing the bright blue sea, pulling up to the port, exploring the towns, going to the beaches, taverns at night. Like it's just a really really magical country, and they have so many islands to explore. So every time you go, you can see something different. And so I would
Oh my
say
gosh, yeah.
definitely Greek islands have my Euro summer heart for sure.
Oh, love that, and rightfully so.
Let's talk, I guess, a little bit about just making sure that we're being respectful and responsible and also meeting people and having a good time. We don't have like too many thoughts on, local culture and etiquette. As always, we're just big promoters of being culturally aware and following traditions and just knowing what's going on where you are. But I do think it is really important. There's so many beautiful churches and monuments and that sort of things everywhere in Europe, and you do need to not wear your bathing suit in the church. Uh, um,
Yeah, just keep that in mind.
just bring that sarong, bring a little shawl, bring a sarong, something, because short shorts and shoulders will need to be covered. And honestly, it is really worth it to visit a lot of these churches and monuments. Often they're up on the hills with beautiful views. The buildings
Oh,
themselves are
yeah.
stunning, so don't miss out on it. But if you are going, just be a little bit respectful, I guess.
Yeah, no, absolutely, absolutely. And then I think just with, embracing people and new people that you meet and friendships and such, like, of course, say yes to Aperol Spritz invites, but also just make sure you trust your gut. I think that sometimes we try to invalidate, the intuition within ourselves, but like I think you should really take it into consideration and um, say yes to things. Don't live out of fear, but also like you have a feeling when something's not right. So also make sure you trust that.
Yes, and
on your trips. Yeah.
and if you have done a Euro summer before, or if you've spent any time in Europe, there's definitely also specific countries. I think if you're a female traveler, like I'm just gonna call a spade a spade. We've all been in a moment where there's a beautiful European man flirting with us, putting air in our tires, making us feel so beautiful. Ciao, Bella. You know what it is. Definitely, what's one of the beautiful things about other cultures is like there are men who can be quite expressive. And
Mm-hmm.
I think it's
That's
beautiful
true.
to have a wonderful European summer fling, but also you don't need to, you know what I mean? Just trust your instinct, trust your guts. Like, yes, go for drinks, go for dates, meet new people, but also know that like you are a beautiful foreign person and not everyone has great intentions. So just trust your guts, but go for it if you want to go for it.
Okay, I'm so glad you said that. That's perfect. Okay, so maybe let's, obviously we just talked about trusting your gut and such, but let's talk about maybe, just making the most of moments. So I just feel like little things like packing the wine opener because you don't want to be in a position where you cannot open the bottle of wine. Pack a little mini speaker, and go find a local scenic spot where you can see the sunset and, see the city line or whatever, and really just have those like beautiful moments with whoever you're traveling with. I think that's really important to make the most of those little moments.
Totally. And don't get too caught up in the itinerary of this beach, this monument. Like you can really slow down, enjoy the moment, have a nice long meal, have a little picnic on the beach. Just enjoy the people that you're with, because it's summer, it's a vacation. And I think a lot of things, especially that North American people really appreciate about different European cultures, is that not needing to rush through everything. I
Oh
think
yeah.
also if you're by yourself, or even if you're not by yourself, like I do think it is important to take a quiet moment, go to a cafe, bring a journal, write down the things that you're seeing. I don't know if
Hmm.
you're more into voice notes, like do a little voice note for yourself, because I definitely think in the future, or when it becomes, January back in North America or something, it is really nice to sort of look back on all of those things that you did and the things that you saw and the things that you appreciated, because truly Europe is a magical place in the summer. So just make sure you're taking time to like slow down and appreciate that.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Do you have maybe like a favorite magic, sorry to be so cheesy, but magic moment story in mind?
Um I have two. I'm so sorry. But I
No.
couldn't
Oh,
just
don't
mine.
yes, share them.
And they both involve boats, which if you have been listening to the
Okay.
podcast, you will know that I have a fear of boats, but I don't have a fear of European summer boats. I'm very particular. But my sort of
Love it.
my sort of first magic moment is, like I mentioned, I was really fortunate to be able to spend quite a few summers in Greece. And if you're ever on a Greek island, I strongly suggest if you go down to the port, there'll be people selling tickets for day trips. Usually for the next day or the day after. They're like around 80 euros or something like that. I strongly recommend, if you're on a Greek island, to take one of those day trips, because they take you to all of these tiny little islands. Some of them are uninhabited. They usually give you lunch. Like you can have, a little beer sitting on the front of a boat, like ripping through the Aegean. Like it's just absolutely stunning. But that's not my, sorry, I will land the plane, I promise. My
No, we
favorite
like the journey.
but I guess like one magical moment that I had was, I think it was the summer of like 2021 maybe. I traveled to the islands where they filmed Mamma Mia, specifically Skopelos. It's a beautiful island in Greece. I strongly recommend you visit it, but that's where they filmed Mamma Mia. And so with
Love
my
that.
background in theater and my absolute lack of shame, I decided to recreate the Mamma Mia scenes
I
everywhere
love
we
it.
went. So I was
I
like
love that.
dancing on a dock and I was running through the olive fields, and I made a lip sync video where I recreated all of the famous moments from Mamma Mia in Greece. So that was a pretty memorable moment. And then last summer, as you know, we're like, this is the Albania fan club here. But last summer, one of my really good girlfriends has a friend who has a boat. If you can get on a boat in Europe in the summer, get on the boat. But one of our girlfriends has a friend who has a boat, and he was like, let me take you guys out for sunset. So we brought a bottle of Prosecco, and we had our really cute bathing
Yes.
suits on, and we got on the boat, and the music was loud, and we were in the south of Albania. And when you're in the sea in the south of Albania, you look on one side and there's these beautiful mountains, and then you just look out and there was the sunset. And I was just
Oh,
sitting on this
yeah.
boat with my girlfriends who I've been friends with for years, and we were listening to music and jumping in the sea and having a swim as the sun was setting. And like in that moment, I just really felt that I was like, this is where I'm supposed to be right now. Like this is what life is all about. And that was just really,
Oh.
really beautiful.
Oh,
Anyway,
that sounds beautiful. That's like one of those aha moments, you know?
it was just like it was the perfect moment. It was so fun. What
Oh, I
about
love
you? What are
that.
your Magic Europe memories?
Okay, I might also share two, um, because we have so many. Okay,
So
so
many.
I would say the first one was way back when in 2015, so 10 years ago. We had one of my best friends and I, Danny, we just graduated college, and we were like, we're doing a month Euro trip summer, um, 100%. So we did. And so we went to like a bunch of different places, but then at that time, like Croatia wasn't as like popular as it is now. And so she was like, "Hey, I heard of this place, like Croatia. Like we should go." I'm like,
This was
"Let's do."
pre Game of Thrones.
Yeah. So it felt so rogue, but I was like,
Yeah.
"Yes, let's do it." And so we went to this town in like northern Croatia called Zadar. And I remember that we got there, we had the best gelato of our lives, and we were staying in this hostel. And I remember like in the evening time, we were both like just like sticking our head out the window, just like looking at the street, like watching the people walk by and the life being lived. There was a street musician playing Wonderful Tonight, and it just for whatever reason it was just like so beautiful. And I think I shed a tear because just seeing people live their lives and like in this different culture in this different place was just life changing. It was amazing. And
That's
then
so
other ones that come to
beautiful.
yeah, and then just like other ones that come to mind, just when I lived in Spain, I had a bunch of best friends visit, and we did, different trips in the summertime. And I just remember one of my best friends, Olivia. Um, we just this was the second time she came to visit me in Spain, and we went up north and we couch surfed and stayed with this girl, which was really awesome. And we had no idea what we wanted to do, but we are just so open, and we wanted to like be as frugal as possible. And I remember, she lived a little bit outside of the city, so we would hitchhike everywhere we went. So we would hitchhike places, and then I remember this one person was like, "Oh, are y'all going to these like fiestas in this little city over there?" And we're like, "No, we haven't heard of it." And then everyone kept talking about it, and we're like, "Maybe we will." So we hitchhiked our way to these fiestas in this small little town, and we just went and had the time of our lives and didn't even plan it, didn't expect it, and it was just so fun. And so that was another European summer experience. That was the best.
Oh, that is so fun. And I think honestly between you and I and our girlfriends and obviously probably a lot of the people who are listening, I think sometimes the summers that you spend in Europe are probably going to be some of the best moments of your life. So as
Mm-hmm.
we wrap things up, we just whether you're having a European summer this summer or it's a dream of yours for the future, we just can't recommend it enough.
Yeah,
If you can get over to
absolutely.
Europe, go anywhere, you will have a really, really good time.
Absolutely. And so just recapping, remember to pack as light as possible, plan things, but keep it open because you want to be open to opportunities. Do a mix max of destinations of classic big cities to small towns.
And yeah, just stay open, embrace it, embrace the fast pace, embrace the slow pace, jump in the sea, live your best life. Just life is for living, and Europeans do that really well. So just yeah, jump in and have a good time. And actually, we would love to hear about all of your European summer moments. So if you have
Absolutely.
some memories that you want to share, if you have some photos you want us to see, we would love to hear all about our Global Girlfriends Euro summer plans or trips past. So Morgan, where can people find us on the internet to share these things?
Yeah, so you can find us on different social media platforms, which is TikTok or Instagram at The Global Girlfriend, or you guys can email us at theglobalgirlfriend@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you from any of these platforms um, and connect with you guys.
Yes, and like I mentioned at the beginning of the episode, we are really trying to grow this community. So if you have an episode of ours that you have loved, or if you have people that you think might take something away from this podcast, please share it with them. Give us a comment or two on Spotify. Just connect with us online because we're having so much fun building this, and we are really grateful that you have chosen to be part of this journey.
Absolutely.
So I think that's it for our European summer preparation episode, and we'll see you guys next week.
Yep, thanks for joining us on The Global Girlfriend. Bye.
Bye.